Welcome, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into four really fascinating works of science fiction. We've got Michael Crichton's Sphere, Tarkovsky's Solaris, Danny Boyle's Sunshine, and Christopher Nolan's Interstellar.
A fantastic lineup. Really thought-provoking stuff.
Absolutely. And on the surface, yeah, they're about space, the deep sea, the unknown. But our mission really is to unpack how they're all, surprisingly, about us.
Right. About the human mind.
Exactly. Memory, isolation, all that intense internal stuff. Each story sends people way out there, far beyond our world.
To the bottom of the ocean or, deep space.
And what they find, it's not your typical aliens or monsters. It's actually much more unsettling.
Because the environment, the ship, the planet, it's just the container, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. What's inside that container, or rather, what comes out of the characters in that container. Yeah. That's the real story. That's where things get interesting.
Yeah.
So let's start with Crichton's Sphere. You've got this team, scientists, way down in the ocean.
Right, investigating this huge spacecraft. Alien, supposedly.
And inside, they find this perfect metal sphere. But here's the twist, and it's chilling. The sphere doesn't just, beam down aliens. It gives the scientists the power.
The power to manifest their own stuff.
Yes. Their unconscious fears, paranoia, ego issues, trauma they've buried, it all comes out. Violently.
It's psychological horror, really.
Totally. It basically says the most dangerous alien isn't out there somewhere.
It's the part of yourself you've ignored.
Ooh, right, what you've spent your life trying not to look at. How do you even deal with that?
Well, that's a perfect lead-in to Solaris, actually. Because Solaris echoes that, but shifts the focus slightly. It's less about manifesting fear, maybe, and more about memory. Memory as an intruder.
Okay, tell me more.
So you have this sentient planet, this ocean, and it interacts with the crew by manifesting their deepest memories, particularly the ones loaded with guilt or grief.
Like Chris Kelvin's dead wife.
Exactly. She appears on the station.
Yeah.
Alive. It's not communicating with herds. It's communicating through resurrected emotions. Guilt, love, loss.
Wow. So it holds up a mirror.
A brutally honest mirror. Yeah. It's less a test, maybe, and more just a revelation. This is what you are when your filters are off.
Which makes you wonder, are we even equipped to handle intelligence that works on that level? Purely emotional, psychological, tapping right into our wounds.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Both stories suggest maybe we're not ready. We're too damaged, perhaps.
Okay, so from that very personal, internal stuff in Sphere and Solaris, let's shift to Sunshine. It feels bigger somehow. More cosmic, but still terrifyingly human.
Definitely. The scale shifts.
You have this mission, save the Earth, reignite the dying sun, classic sci-fi setup.
But it becomes this slow descent. Not just equipment failure, but mental disintegration.
Right. And the sun itself, it stops being just a star. It becomes this overwhelming, almost divine thing.
Yeah, the awe turns into something else.
And then there's Pinbacker, the antagonist. He's gone full zealot, hasn't he? Worshipping the sun, thinking it's God.
Convinced that trying to fix it is blasphemy.
So Sunshine seems to explore what happens when we face something so vast, so unknowable. Our rationality just shatters. We regress to something primal.
Awe, terror, madness, maybe all three. It touches on that human need for reverence, even if it turns dark. That capacity for losing it in the face of the sublime.
Which leads us nicely into Interstellar. Nolan takes that human experience and just explodes it onto a cosmological canvas.
He really does. It starts to save the world, right? Find a new home.
Standard stuff. But it evolves into this deep meditation on everything. Time, love, dimensions we can't even grasp.
But how does Cooper ultimately save humanity? It's not with equations, not really. Not just by navigating a wormhole.
No, it's by connecting back to his daughter. Through love, across time and dimensions.
Right. Nolan actually frames love as potentially a physical force. Something tangible with consequences, like gravity bending time, maybe love bends. Meaning, transcends dimensions.
That's such a bold move for a big sci-fi movie. Is that the core message, do you think? Love is a fundamental force.
I think it's a huge part of it. It suggests our deepest emotions might be keys to understanding the universe in ways science hasn't caught up with yet. Pretty profound, really.
Okay, so pulling all this together, what does it mean for you listening to this? These four stories, they seem pretty different on the surface.
Different directors, different styles.
But they connect in some really powerful ways. First, it seems like the alien is never truly alien, is it?
No. The real unknown is always somehow a reflection of us. Our guilt, our fear, our capacity for awe or love.
And second, space, or the deep sea. It's kind of a metaphor, right? It's not really about exploration out there.
It's about confrontation in here,
Right.
what you carry inside, what you'd rather avoid.
Yeah. And third, isolation seems key. Being cut off forces that confrontation. No distractions, just you and your thoughts, or your manifested memories.
Isolation is the pressure cooker. And finally, maybe the most interesting bit, contact or transformation. It doesn't happen through math or language primarily.
It happens through emotion, memory, trauma, awe, love. That's the medium.
Yeah. Ultimately, you could say these aren't really stories about aliens or distant suns. They're about the profound, sometimes terrifying, loneliness of being human in this huge, indifferent universe.
And in that loneliness, what do?
We create meaning, or we create madness. Sometimes both at the same time.
So think about that. When you consider these deep dives, Sphere, Solaris, Sunshine, Interstellar, what really resonates with you? Is the ultimate mystery truly out there among the stars and galaxies? Or is it maybe a little closer to home, maybe waiting right inside you?